It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Monday to you, and it's time for your weekly tech roundup with our expert, General Manager of bandwidthblog.com, Bryan Smith. Always a pleasure to have you here. Bring us the latest, most exciting news, and we begin with a story that might be able to help any one of us if we were ever caught in a tragedy, because Google has now been given license to, let me just get this right, to relaunch or launch an experimental license to have connectivity in Puerto Rico using something called Project Loon.
So this is a really exciting development to come out of really a terrible tragedy, in that when Hurricane Maria swept through Puerto Rico just recently, it's estimated to have destroyed about 80% of all the cellular networking towers. So that not only complicates the question of internet access, but also complicates relief efforts being organized on the ground.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Google's been given an experimental license until April next year to launch a series of high-altitude weather balloons, which, when they partner with a local network, will sort of proliferate internet connectivity throughout the country, and will hopefully be able to aid the organization of relief efforts.
Oh, that's fantastic news. So good luck to everyone involved in that project. And hopefully, do you see, is this something that could possibly be implemented to kind of cut down on the infrastructural costs of data access and things like that?
That's actually a great question. It was originally developed for emerging countries where it's difficult to lay cables, or in very remote regions of the globe, and now it's being used as an emergency service. So there are a whole lot of applications for this.
I'm just saying, let's bring it down here. But let's move on to cryptocurrencies. We've heard of the likes of Bitcoin. It's all the rage right now. And I also understand that the city of Dubai is launching its own cryptocurrency called emCash. So bring us into that space. What exactly is it, and what is it going to be used for?
Great. So cryptocurrency has become a real buzzword this year, and I think most people are looking at Bitcoin or seeing if they can invest or trade in Bitcoin. And now Dubai has launched its own such cryptocurrency called emCash, as you mentioned. What's interesting about this is that it's now recognized as legal tender in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. So it can be used for government facilities and non-government facilities. The examples that have been given at the moment, for example, is one could use emCash to pay their property rates if they're a resident in Dubai, or school children could use it to pay for their lunch on the way to school. It works through most modern smartphones through an NFC chip, so it's tap and pay.
Yeah. Is this going to be the future of the world economy? I mean, once the entire, I guess, gold system of valuating currency kind of crashes, if people are saying that's anticipating to happen, that is this going to be the new thing, digital currencies?
It could well be. The framework, the challenging framework really is legislation and regulation. But if more countries and cities can roll out their own cryptocurrency, that sort of circumvents that problem. And I believe that's what we'll see going forward into the near future.
Wow. And then lastly, some exciting news from NASA. I don't know if you can classify this as exciting, though, but they're saying they're heading back to the moon again. What's happening?
Well,
What's
it's some good news
journey?
out of the Trump administration. It's actually a change in policy that under Bush, NASA was headed to the moon. Under Obama, that changed to Mars. And now Mike Pence, the new Vice President of the United States, has announced that NASA is refocusing its efforts to go to the moon. We don't have any concrete information about what NASA's planning, but we do know that in recent weeks NASA's planning has announced the Deep Space Gateway, which will be a satellite in between the orbit of the moon and the Earth that will fuel endeavors to other planets in the near future.
Okay, but we're definitely going to see the moon again from up close, and it's going to be big.
It's going to be big.
Surreal. Amazing. Dude, always a pleasure to have you here with us, Bryan Smith, of course, from the bandwidthblog.com. All your latest tech news update you can find there.